Hi everybody, Spudcubs here, with a little bit of a talk I've been meaning to give. Now, I know you might have caught me making a double upload earlier in the day where I did talk about the road to release already, but I feel like I rushed through that a little bit too much, and I want to re-record this video, touch back on this, make it a little more concise, a little more easier to digest, and so that you guys can pick apart my talking points, without it being so wildly confusing. So first, I just want to read out this post by John, the community manager of Brilliant Skies, the wonderful studio that made From the Depths. What is up, all you epic people? Hope you are all having an awesome day, and if not, then perhaps this may brighten things up. As the full release is just around the corner, and as the white flares sacrifices of fluffy unicorns that fart rainbows and puke nyan cats are just not getting us anywhere, we need to expand our social media presence. This will help our community grow, and we will all get to interact with new members, see more epic builds, and have access to many more suggestions to improve From the Depths. I agree. We also need to remember that we are relying on attracting new players, since we are not creating paid DLC for From the Depths. Ooh, there's an interesting point. This might be something you guys might not agree with me on, but I think FTD could and should have paid DLC, and I'll get into that in a little bit. But with that out the way, we will be unlocking the following additions to the game with every milestone we hit. So if you have not followed us on the following platforms, please go and smash that follow button like it owes you money. Because it does. It owes you $15. We are currently, while writing this, sitting at 84,000 followers in total across the platforms listed below. So all we need is 1,200. I believe he meant 12,000. But 1,200 followers, and we shall unlock prefab mirroring. Oh, maybe, no, it was probably 1,200 because we have unlocked prefab mirroring. Now let me get into the breakdown of this road to release. Now this poster, the road to release, okay, there are some things we need to talk about from the top down. And there is quite a lot to talk about. I'll try to make it clear and concise without taking too long. So bear with me here because I actually have quite a bit of commentary on this topic. It might not seem like a big deal, but it is quite a big deal, and there are quite a few problems. Excuse me, had Greek food today, it was delicious. So I totally agree that From the Depths needs to expand their social media presence, but don't focus primarily on that. The social media presence, remember, social media presence is based on interaction with the general populace, and the general populace also talking about you on social media. Don't focus on social media presence because people will talk about the game if there's interest in the game. Focus on generating interest in the game by making the game good, by making people want to play the game, not by making people rate the game for, it won't do anything for you if you have a lot of followers, if there's no interaction. No online algorithm is going to pick you up if you're not interacting. I'll get into it in a little more in depth, but for instance, like Facebook, if you have, say, 5,000 Facebook followers, but you aren't posting anything, then none of them are going to see any of your posts from the past or the present. If let's say, you're only interacting with 20 out of 5,000 followers on a normal basis, then effectively you only have 20 followers, really. So let me get back onto this track here. So the road to release has some glaring issues. I'm going to ignore some of the 2012 memes in this post because I think I've complained enough about this. But the main problem that I see, that I think a lot of the Reddit commenters have also seen, is one, this seems like pandering, in that the whole problem with From the Depths and the meta and alienating other gamers is that From the Depths has always had this small problem of pandering to the current player set, of just doing fanfare. And this really does seem like fanfare. It seems like, hey, you guys want something in the game? We're holding it hostage until you do something for us. Just like Nick said, was it a week or two ago? If you were to rate the game high on Steam, if you were to give it a positive review on Steam, then he would introduce ship girls to the game. If we get an overall review rating of 90% or higher, he would introduce a new feature. So he's locking a feature behind a review wall, which I think is actually against Steam TOS. So you better watch that. That's not a threat or anything. I love the game. I'm not going to do anything to jeopardize it like that. I'm just saying, like, that might not be an appropriate course of action. Secondly, who the hell wants ship girls? I'm going to jump ahead very quickly to mention this Walker foot. Just going to touch on it really quick because things like Walker feet and mech girls can definitely be part of a paid DLC. I would definitely expect, if you guys put in so much work into a planet and it's community driven and everything, then why shouldn't you? Why shouldn't you be able to sell it for $5 more? Just do it like that. So you have a way to make money while you're developing. You don't split your game community by focusing the game into one little niche. You spread it out over different packages, different expansions of the game, different DLCs, whatever you want to call it, and they're all community driven, so be it, but they're all managed by the development team. They're all well handled. You'd have money, people would want to buy it, and then you don't have to, like, tug of war where I'm going to tell you, don't add Walker feet to the game, don't add ship girls to the game, because I'm going to tell you both of those things. Don't add them to the base game, because it's going to make every problem extremely worse on the whole, alienating every other player from your player base, besides the ones that are stuck in FTD currently already and aren't moving. You know, it's pandering. It's really quite bad. Now, my next point I want to get to, because I really just want to hammer these home really quick, is we see there are 6 social media sites on here. We see we have 86,013 followers. The problem is they are adding up the followers from the inactive Facebook site, which doesn't get posts, the semi-inactive Twitter site, which doesn't get posts, the Steam Game Hub followers, the subreddit followers, every single member of the Discord server, which doesn't encompass every FTD player on Discord, by the way, because there are multiple different Discord servers. And then the From the Depths forum, every single account on the From the Depths forum. This doesn't make any sense because they're all completely lopsided. They all have different follower counts, and this isn't generating any more interaction in any of these platforms. Why is it not helpful? Why is it not generating more interaction on these platforms? Because, like I said, your Facebook is pretty dead. You aren't posting development updates to your Facebook. You're posting, like, look at this pretty ship, look at this pretty picture. Every game can do that, and no one outside of your own game community is impressed, so that's not good marketing. You need to be advertising what you're doing development-wise, just like you did on YouTube with your development videos. Show a screenshot of, for instance, if you are putting Walker feet in, just put a screenshot of the Walker feet instead of trying to generate hype through a follower wall. This isn't how you do it properly, because there's an etiquette to these things, and it's just one of those things you have to know about to see, I guess. I don't really know how to describe it. It's online etiquette. It's like gamer levels of appropriateness. You don't do this. You don't compound the followers from 6 different websites. It just doesn't make sense mathematically even. I know you're trying to make it like even more followers. Oh, follow here. But look at it this way. If we say you have 88,000 followers, that means you have 12,000 followers left to get to 100,000, right? You have 6 sites. You say 12,000 followers across these sites, but it's 6 sites. So if every follower is subscribing to every single site, you can say for every 6 followers total, it's actually 1 follower. So instead of 12,000 followers, you really just need 2,000 followers, which would be a much easier goal to attain. It'd be less complicated. You could just say, hey people, hey people, just follow us on the Game Hub, or choose one social media account that you can focus the time and effort into. Like maybe have John, the community manager, be posting developer updates. Just give him screenshots of what you're working on, Nick. Or, excuse me, Draba or Rhea, work together. You know, yeah, you have jobs for a reason. Well, the system shouldn't have to be complicated. If you're doing a follower wall, make it not complicated. Also, I'm concerned about the number of having to have 2,000 people. I know that's not the exact number, but you know, we need more than that actually. 2,000 followers. From the Depths doesn't have that many active players right now. So that's going to be difficult. You have to really flip your game around, and drilling yourself down further into this rabbit hole of the same meta and the same community. I'll get into it later, but more it's really more about like pandering to the same community and not expanding the game concept as a game. It's just more deeper down into From the Depths. The more you do that, the the smaller your bubble of influence will become within the entire gaming community. But moving on, this seems very immature, this road to release. Now, I don't say that as in it seems like excessively childish. Although the 2012 memes from Bacon's TV kind of actually do throw it into that direction, kind of that childish, nine gaggy, you're catering to 13-year-olds kind of, hey guys, what's going on? Like expressive, overly expressive. Like the colors in FTD right now are also like that. I don't know what kind of target audience you guys are going for with all of this, but it's not working because your game is geared towards the engineering types, like the really like me kind of types. I don't know, like the really single topic focused, like borderline autistic kind of, just like I want to build it kind of type of people. So I don't know what all of this hyper excitement is going for, because you know all of the people that follow your game are just going to be doing math or like, how do I build a plane? Tell me how I build plane. Make it simple. And none of this is helping either of those goals. Now, another reason I call it a little immature is, okay, now this is minor, but it's still important, especially because you're doing road to release, especially because it's a month and a half away, especially because this is like the only piece of marketing you guys have released in a long time. Graphic design wise, it's atrocious. I'm sorry, like standalone as like a game thing, maybe it's a decent design. You put a lot of effort into it. Whoever did it, probably it was Bacon's. I'm going to guess. A lot of effort. There's a nice background texture. There's a lot of different dynamic things happening in the picture. But the problem is it has nothing to do with From the Depths. If you take away that one screenshot, this one right here, this screenshot right here, take this thing away and take every mention of From the Depths away from this image, it has nothing to do with From the Depths. There's no, like the Walkerfoot isn't even the same style as the From the Depths aesthetic, the same like cel-shaded, like steampunky, engine kind of like grimy, smoky kind of feel to From the Depths. It doesn't have any of that look to it. It's just overly complex. There's too many polygons on that Walkerfoot. Too much going on it. Excuse me. Good lunch. Gotta tell you, good lunch. Tastes good coming up as it does going down. But the actual title road to release isn't in From the Depths font. There's no water on the screen. There's this weird gradient on the side, and then this weird one, like someone took the brush in Photoshop and just like tapped it a little bit to put some glow. It doesn't help. It makes it look very weird. If you put this in the From the Depths user interface, we would know it's From the Depths. You don't even have to play From the Depths. You would just see, oh, that looks like that one boat game. Put a From the Depths logo right in the corner. Just From the Depths, road to, oh, better yet, right on the left side right here. So it just says From the Depths, road to release. Also, you don't have roads in From the Depths. Complete the fleet or something like that. You know, like road to release is very generic, just like the rest of this poster. It's very, very generic, and it's hurting your marketing because it's making your game look even more generic. Just like, I hope the new trailer you guys are working on doesn't scream, hey, look, generic. Because From the Depths is such a unique gaming experience. It's such a concept that is not present in current gaming that it is a disservice to From the Depths to portray it as generic, as simple. It's not something it's not something that should be happening. This should, especially that road to release is so important right now. This should be beautiful. This should scream From the Depths. The background shouldn't be square bricks or like the metal alloy texture. The background should be like a screenshot of the game or even a GIF image or something. This road to release should just be in like From the Depths user interface, like blue liney text. Gee, excuse me. The food wants talk more than the From the Depths does. I guess it's a food review. But let's get on to the next point. I'm not trying to rip your work apart, guys. I'm trying to help. I'm not trying to be like, hey, you're doing a bad job. I'm trying to say like, hey, we could do a more effective job in marketing. We could do a more effective job in gameplay to make it fun. I'm trying to help you guys engage players. I'm trying to help you guys engage people in and outside of your community. Help me help you. Brilliance, guys. Really help me help you, because that's all I'm trying to do. I know I'm tearing you down here, but you need it. Because if you make a game in an echo chamber and then no one likes it, don't blame me. I tried. I tried giving you the feedback. You just got to listen to it and try something new. Who cares if you think it might not work? Try it. Put it into the game, because you're still in early access for at least until September 22nd. Try it, because people might like it. People might not like it. And then you'll get the feedback. Just listen to the feedback and then remove it or improve on it. Okay. The next thing I want to touch on is the actual prizes for the road to release. And a lot of people on Reddit actually got upset about this on the Reddit comments for the road to release, because mirroring prefabs, as in you put mirror mode down and your prefabs will mirror onto either side, as well as saving and loading sub-objects with a full browser, are both things that should be in the game from the get-go, and both things that should not be blocked behind any sort of follower or paywall. That's quality of life changes. It was explained to me by a developer. I'm not going to name any names, but it was explained to me by a developer that these are kind of a way of giving back. Like, hey, we've been working so hard as developers. This is just a little like fun thing to do. If you guys give us so many followers, we'll give you a little thing back. And you know what that says to me? That says they don't care about these quality of life changes, that these are extra, these are miscellaneous, and that these aren't on the priority list. That's what it says to me. Because in my mind, these two things are on the priority list, like super high up. Like, if you have a game with prefabs and a mirror mode and your prefabs don't mirror when you place them, that's a lack of game functionality. That's not an extra thing you want to put in. That's something you have to put in. Your game is just a more functional game with prefab mirroring, and it's not an extra thing you should lock behind a road to release. All right, it just shows like a little bit of disingenuity among the developers. I'm not saying you guys are being dishonest with us, but it feels like it. It really feels like it. And that's the effect this has on at least me and the people in my community. Because that's all I hear from people is, oh, what the hell? Why? Why are you doing this to us? This isn't like a Kickstarter, like, oh, you give us more money and we'll. No, like, go back to the whole, like, just give us all the good features, and if you guys want to put ridiculous things in, go make paid DLC. Because you'll get paid for it, and I don't want to pay you for and wait on features that don't make any sense and don't make any sense to me, don't impact the game in any meaningful way for me, but it's just an extra thing for some other player. I'm talking about mech feet. Focus on that for paid DLC post-release, because you can. You totally can. And just look in the comments. Ask the people, do you guys want paid DLC? Would you guys pay for a waifu ship girl DLC with a bunch of Japanese stuff and lasers and more effects and I think people would get down with that. You don't have to do Forgotten Shores. You don't have to do From the Depths 3.0. Just form your main game, form the big old tasty boat sausage, and then put the little side orders on the side. You don't have to cram everything into the sausage casing. Come on, that's a weird analogy. I don't know, of all the analogies, I picked that one. We're going to talk about this walker foot, talking about these features. What the hell are you thinking with the walker foot? This is just the epitome of the point I was talking about, pandering. The walker foot doesn't make any sense in From the Depths. Like I said before, it has too many polygons. It doesn't look anything like anything that should be in From the Depths, unless you're changing the entire game's aesthetic, which you're not, because even Rhea's After Cataclysm models tend to follow the aesthetic of From the Depths. They're not too polygon, they stay blocky. They stay From the Depths blocky. We don't have bumper blocks. We don't have used tire blocks. We have rubber blocks. It's a block you can do anything with, just general purpose. Use your imagination, do something with it. Making something so specific like a walker foot that is at a specific size, has a specific style and theme to it, and just the general shape of it, you're removing about just all of the creativity you can out of making a mech in From the Depths. I know this might be something functional, but give us some way to make walker feet other than, give us like a foot sub-object. Give us a friction block. Just take the code from the walker foot and give it to just a set of blocks. You know what I mean? All I'm saying is the more flexible you make your game, the more compatible it is with everybody else. And putting in something so niche as walker feet is just going to create more clutter in your game that you don't want. You're specializing everything so much, it's just becoming over complex. It's like when you're creating a spore creature, you don't want to keep adding every little tiny part that does everything. You want to get it done and get it done right. If you have a screwdriver, you don't have a screwdriver with you turn, the head is on a wheel and you turn it to have 40 different little heads, and your handle has an ergonomic mount. No, you get a tool that can do your job and do your job well. If you need a screw, you get a damn rod with a little cutout screwdriver head and a small hand. That's all you need. You don't need walker feet to unscrew a screw. And let's see what else here. I have a huge list of things to talk about on the road to release, because I gotta tell you, we gotta fix all of these things. I love From the Depths. I'm not gonna let anything slide under the radar here, because I don't think anyone else is saying any of this. I don't think anyone else is really voicing their opinion, and I don't think anyone has the platform to voice their opinion that much, because all the big From the Depths YouTubers have been like, nah, fuck that, game's not fun anymore. And then all the small FTD YouTubers are like, ugh, look at my ship. My ship is amazing. Never mind, I stopped playing the game. And then they don't post a video anymore, and they don't tell you why. Me, I'm addicted, so I'm gonna just stay here forever and tell you everything. Well, let's get to the next point. The 100,000 follower prize. Now, I don't think it actually exists, because in the Reddit comments, somebody asked, what's the 100,000 follower prize? And John slash Bacon TV, the community manager of Brilliant Skies, the studio that created From the Depths, said, what would you like it to be, or something along those lines, like basically asking for suggestions. And I think maybe it really doesn't exist, and they're trying to find out what the From the Depths community really wants out of it, or that maybe they're just trying to generate hype. But I'm going back to this item here, the third item. For some reason my mouse isn't popping up on screen. Oh well. Jeez, these burps are getting intense. It's like a frog in my throat. It's like an army of frogs fighting. It's like a bunch of battle toads. It's a toad battle. It is an epic battle of battle toads happening in my battle throat. Anyway, these save load sub-objects prefabs menu with a full browser sounds like such an amazing idea. Why didn't you put it into the game like 3 years ago? User interface has been one of the biggest things about From the Depths, and I mean, biggest issues about From the Depths, because it's such a complex and cluttered game. You need to be able to find a user interface medium that would be able to simplify it for the player enough to understand, but be complex enough to be able to function within or interact with every function of the game, like engine ramp up times and gun loading and cooling time ratios, things like that. But then what I want to note is that we should definitely have a full in-game browser, like a Gary's Mod style spawn menu-esque full browser in-game, that instead of clicking escape and going to load vehicle or going into the sub-object menu, what if there was one menu for loading vehicles, loading things from the Steam Workshop, loading prefabs, sub-objects, mods, and planets, and save games, all, like, I'm not saying go into the escape and there it is. I'm just saying like one window for all of this with tabs, and you just load in between, almost like a out of game tactical menu, like as if you treated your entire game, including the main menu and workshop, like everything outside of campaign, like including designer, if you all treated it as if it was like a tactical process within your quest to complete the campaign, like it's just part of the game, is what I'm saying. Make it part of the game. All of this interaction that you're trying to encourage on these 6 different websites, and all the interaction you're trying to promote with Steam Workshop blueprints, and chatting in between players, chatting on social media, multiplayer, players trying to find other people to play with, YouTube, everything. Just put it all into the game. Incorporate it into the game, because the game is the only place your community has in common. Just like these 6 websites, everyone's spread out. And yes, the forum functions as the forum. The Discord functions as the Discord. The Reddit functions as the Reddit. But not everyone uses Reddit. Not everyone uses Discord. Not everyone uses the forums. Not everyone knows they even exist. Some people just want to start a game, check it out for 5 minutes, play with their friends maybe, see what it's like, maybe get some help. Some people just don't like Reddit. Some people don't want to go on a gaming forum. Some people don't have Discord. Some people look at the Twitter and the Facebook and they see, oh, no one's updated this game for forever. Let's just stop playing, or I'm not going to play it, or that's all I'm saying. Incorporate it into the game so it's not a problem, because the game is where everything is going on. And just to rehash on all the social media, here's what you should be doing, in my opinion. If you want to follow my advice, devs, here's what you should be doing with your social media. Facebook, post development updates. Twitter, post development updates. Steam, post development updates. The in-game update menu, update it. Reddit, interact with the community, but don't focus on it. Discord, interact with the community, but don't focus on it. Forums, interact with the community. YouTube, do your dev updates like you were doing that one week, or just have Bacon's TV doing it. He's already doing a YouTube series on From the Depths. He has video editing software, or at least he should. I bet he does. Seems like he has Photoshop. Have him just do dev update videos. And then Twitch streams aren't necessary, but they'd be useful and would get you some publicity and popularity because no one streams from the depths. So if they see the official From the Depths account streaming from the depths, they'd be like, oh shit, we gotta get on. You better believe Twitch has quite a platform. If you wanna promote every single one of your social media accounts, promote every single one of your social media accounts. Because it seems like none of them are that active, honestly. But if there's any upcoming features, like you're gonna add walker feet to the game, just communicate it to us. Don't put it behind a paywall. Don't try to generate hype. Post it onto your Twitter and Facebook and YouTube and everything, because that will generate hype. People seeing what you're doing, using social media to interact socially through online media. That's the whole point of social media. Having followers doesn't matter if you don't have content. So just make content and you will get followers, because online algorithms like on YouTube will pick up and recommend your videos and other content to people based on how much interaction you have with people. So just interact with people and stop saying, guys, please follow us, buy the game, make the money, without actually putting up content to follow and a game to play. Anyway, this has been Spud Cubs ranting for a half hour about the From the Depths road to release. I hope some of this sinks in. If you have comments, criticisms, let me know down below. This is a lot. But anyway, please, for me, have a buoyant day.